Welcome to Boomer Being. Today we're going to talk about resources, boomer resources. When it's time for a move, life can be pretty stressful. Luckily, there are resources to help eliminate those stresses. Today I'm pleased to welcome Kate Grondin and Ellen Sullivan of Home Transition Resources to Boomer Being. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, Leslie.
So Kate, please tell us, what exactly is a senior move manager?
A senior move manager is a professional who specializes in assisting older adults and their families with the physical and emotional aspects of making a later life transition. Oftentimes it's a very stressful event for both the person moving and for the family, and so what we do is we try and help eliminate that stress. We have significant resources that we can employ to make sure that they save money, they save time, and reduce the stress.
Excellent. Ellen, can you tell us who uses senior move managers?
Sure. There's a variety of people that do. First and foremost, elder adults do, who are transitioning. Their family members who may be helping them. Elder law attorneys, realtors, senior living facilities, and any others who might be moving or transitioning.
So what are the real benefits of using your services?
I think the most important thing to key in is the fact that we are professionals. We have a number of resources that we work with, from movers to realtors to whatnot, so that we really have the resources to help those individuals. They're coming to us very overwhelmed, and we can help break it down and use our expertise to really make it a little bit more a little easier to get through.
And that's a valuable thing.
It really is.
When somebody's, stressed out.
It is.
So tell us, Kate, why is it that now a senior move manager is needed when 20 years ago it was not?
Yeah, I think there are a few reasons for that. One being that the senior population is growing. I heard a statistic the other day that every day 10,000 Americans turn 65, and it's going to be that way for the next 19 years. So it's a very fast-growing segment of the population. In fact, those 85 years old and over are the fastest-growing population today. So I think that's one of the reasons why there are more people transitioning. I think another reason is that the help that's available in their own families is, we're geographically dispersed as families now. We don't live right next door like we used to. So being able to rely on a family member may not be an option. Mm-hmm. So to have resources like ours that can come in and sort of fill that gap, I think is important. And the other reason is I think the senior housing options, they're more attractive today than they were, and so people are moving more to those types of communities.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Ellen, can you explain to us how your company differs from a traditional moving company?
Sure, yes. We're really going to take and execute a full plan for them, really a full plan in that we can take time to work with floor plans all the way through to packing and unpacking, and really I think it is the one-on-one, the real relationships that we're trying to build with our customers. They have so many things that they're needing to get rid of, and we can do and work with the stuff, but we understand that that stuff really has some emotion behind it. So that one-on-one and really understanding that we have to really attend to the emotional end of this transition that they're doing.
And while the movers are an incredibly crucial piece of that puzzle, there's lots of things surrounding that actual move date that we take care of. Disconnecting services, helping them with their floor plan, like Ellen said, and helping them dispose of some of their items. So we really fill in all of the gaps before and after the movers come and go.
And we find too that we actually work well as a team with the movers because they are part of our resources.
Sure. So Kate, the big question that I'm sure the audience has is, what questions should a client ask when they're deciding to contract with home transition resources?
Yeah, I think, you treat us like any other contractor that you would bring into your home. You want to know how long someone's been in business, what kind of training they have, can they provide references, do they have insurance, both liability and workers' comp. So questions just like any other contractor that you would bring into your home, just making sure that they have that expertise that they're saying that they have, doing your homework, calling some references.
And I might add, too, that we are a member of of NASM, which is the National Association of Senior Move Managers. So it is under their guidance that our practice is standardized. And so even if we have questions or concerns, we can turn to them. But I think that, our clients can take you can find that knowing that we are working with NASM is really great.
Comforting.
Very helpful.
Excellent. So, can you tell us a little bit about the start, when your company was born?
Yeah, a couple things happened, but I think the most significant was that I was helping my own parents, who are 86 years old. They've lived in their house for 60 years, and I was helping them do some downsizing. They weren't moving, but they wanted to pare down some of their possessions. And the biggest thing on their mind was their books. They have lots and lots and lots of books. And so what we decided to do after some careful research was to catalog one of the collections that they had. And when I outlined how that was going to happen, they were just overwhelmed and didn't think that it was possible. So little by little, we started working together, and it got done. What started out being a overwhelming process became a very enjoyable process for my parents. They got to see the books again, feel them, remember who gave them to them. So it was an enjoyable process. So it was during that time that I realized that there are others that need this type of help as well. And so I thought I would start a business. So that's how it started.
And nice too that they were able to do it before they were actually moving,
right?
So that they're making it a process beforehand, and
before
getting some things
yeah.
done. And they're not in any type of crisis mode.
Excellent, thank you. I'm thinking this must be an incredibly emotional process. Talking about book collections and things that people either want to take with them or can't take with them. So what do you do to help minimize that whole emotion?
Mm-hmm. I always encourage people to start early. The earlier someone can start before they have to get rid of something, meaning a house is closing or they're moving, the better able they are to make decisions about that and to feel good about what they're doing. So we spend a lot of time with people to make sure we help them feel good about whatever charity they want to donate to. We had a woman with the dolls. You want to tell that story?
Yes. One time we had a family that we were working with, both their adult children and our client, and they had a doll collection, and none of the kids really cared to have it. They just wanted to pass on it, and we knew that our client was very much attached to these. So that we decided to look around. We found a local library that was more than happy to display them, and that way our client could actually go and visit them, and they had a new life.
And Leslie, getting back to it being an enjoyable process, we have a woman here who's looking at a pair of baby shoes, and she hadn't opened this box for years and years, and when we pulled it out and handed it to her to open, she was just overjoyed at seeing all this box of baby shoes, and she's turning them over and she sees her name at the bottom of one of the pair, and every one of her siblings had their own name at the bottom. So we shipped those shoes to each of her siblings, and it just was a very joyful moment during a stressful time, and that's what we look for when we're working with clients.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
So that reminds me of downsizing. How do you help your clients downsize, and what are some of the procedures that you put into place?
Well, it's really a one-on-one type of situation where we might carve out 2 hours, let's say, at a time to do that. And it really might be just going through a closet, knowing that their footprint of their existing home is much different, is going to be much smaller where they're going. So if I know that I need to pare down that closet by about a half, it's literally going through things one by one.
Wow.
They might have a story behind each item, and it's taking that time to just make sure that they're connected, but knowing that we're moving the process along.
We bring in people to appraise jewelry, really helping them to find the best option for what they're getting rid of. So we have here someone's appraising someone's jewelry, and we have someone else cleaning out the home where Goodwill has come, and they've decided to donate all of their things to charity.
And in other situations, we can utilize Craigslist and put some of their items on there to realize some profit and maybe make up some of the costs that are associated with the move.
That's no small matter.
I know it is. It really, when we talk about downsizing and all of that, it really is kind of a trickle down, you know, where we're going from downsizing all the way down to, as we had talked about, the donations. And then finally, if there are certain things that just are junk, you know, we'll have to dispose of those. So, but that's kind of the last stop on the range of services.
Do you help family members with this process as well as the senior?
Sometimes it's the family members who need the most help. So yes, we do. We're always feel like sometimes we're playing interference and helping maintain that family relationship and not let it get too contentious by us sort of being the bad guy or us being the buffer. So oftentimes family members are very much a part of the process and need just as much support.
Do you work with the general population or just the senior population?
Oh, absolutely. We are professional move managers who happen to specialize in working with senior transitions. And very often we're working with realtors, and you know, they don't always have seniors who are transitioning. So it's our specialty, but certainly we aren't limited to it.
I'm sure people are wondering, can you clean out an entire estate, or do you just do little by little?
Oh, sure.
What if somebody has an enormous house and they have to move?
Oh, absolutely. You know, again, it's just breaking things down and knowing, you know, that we're categorizing things by, you know, what are they going to be taking with them? What are they going to be maybe putting on Craigslist? What are they donating? And even working with the, you'll see a slide that we have now that the home is pretty cluttered. So it really is a matter of working to depersonalize and declutter.
We pack things up. We pack things up for donation. We pack things up for family members. In this situation, we had to get this house on the market. So we needed to replace carpet and we needed to make it show ready. So it was all part of the process. And in the end, we put in hardwood floors, which is what people want today. We painted and we made the house very presentable for the market.
Oh, wow.
And we do that quite often with the same house here. Had a basement full of things. Couldn't show the house like that. And so what we did was we replaced the floors and we painted and it looked like a different place. So those are the examples of working with realtors. Another time we staged a home. The home had carpet that didn't quite work with the house, and they had lots of things that needed just to be removed. So we were able to do that pretty quickly, and the house looked like a completely different house when we were finished, but it really presented well to the market. So those are ways that we work with realtors and clean out estates.
What about a hoarder? Has that ever happened? Did you have you worked with hoarders?
We do. We work with hoarders, and there are levels of hoarders, and we've worked with a lot of them. And it just takes a bit more time, a bit more patience. Hoarders don't want to get rid of anything, so sometimes an option would be to put things in storage so that they can move forward. So we have strategies to work with hoarders.
That must entail a great deal of packing. How do your services differ from, say, a traditional moving company?
Yeah, I think because we are coming in before and we're there after that packing process. So we're working with that emotional piece. We really understand what it is we're packing, whether it's going to go to their new home or whether it's going to go to storage. And we're doing careful labeling, but all the while making sure that we're aware of someone's emotion around what it is that we're doing. We also pack to unpack. So we're very careful about documenting and labeling, because when we pack a box, we're also unpacking the box, and we want to know exactly where it's supposed to go when we unpack it. A little bit different.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you stage, and you mentioned the hardwood floors, and I'm absolutely stunned by that, because that's an enormous undertaking. So sounds like you take staging to a whole higher level than just moving a mirror here and a lamp there.
Sure. I mean, in many instances, you have a home that's, you know, really overrun with clutter. And we take our lead from the broker. from the realtor. However they feel that we need to get the house in order for the open house. But it does take some time to get things out, and just realizing that simple is best, and really what they need to get the house prepared for sale.
This particular house you're looking at now, we walked into it and this is what it looked like, and they needed to get this ready in less than 2 weeks. And so what we did was we helped them to declutter. They put some things into storage. They staged the house with what they wanted to stage it with, and in no time it looked like this, which is very different but presents to the market so much better. And we did this with this entire condominium here. This was a baby's room / guest room, but it couldn't show like this, so we made it into a nursery. And again, it shows so much better. And all of this took place in a very short period of time with a crew that was able to get it done for the client.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Can you describe the resettling process? You know, you have this family and they have to go to point A to point B. How do you manage that?
Well, first I might say that as we're packing up, or I should say before we pack, we're taking pictures of the existing home. How are they setting up their kitchen? How do they like their drawers? What does their nightstand look like? What do, pictures over a bed look like? And from that, we're taking those with us to the new property, so that as we are unpacking, we're really creating home for them. It's in a different place, but it's their new next step, and a lot of familiarity for them especially is going to be quite beneficial. And this particular picture that we're seeing right now is of one of our clients over the bed, hit the wall over the bed. They've had these pictures over their bed for decades.
Wow.
They feel comfortable with it this way, and this is how we recreated it for them.
So we'll refer to this picture when we're unpacking, so that those pictures are exactly the way they were over his bed at his old home.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. And another example of that is a dresser top. We take a picture of that dresser top the morning of the move, exactly how it was when she brushed her hair that morning. And so when we're setting it up that afternoon, after everything's been unpacked, we make sure that the brush was where it was, that her Clinique is where it was. All of the things that she expects to find are going to be where they're supposed to be.
And in some instances, we can actually have a little fun with it, in that we can move somebody, when we move someone in, they'll come in at the end of the day, and we'll sometimes call it the reveal, and they come in, we feel like, we sometimes have our own TV show where they'll come in at the end of the day with their family and just have that aha moment, when it's really gratifying to see them find some sense of peace, even though they've been through such an overwhelming, time in their lives of transitioning. It just makes it that much easier, and it's kind of a nice ending to the day to get them started.
So can somebody give you the keys to their home, take off for the day, and literally come back at the end of the day and find the move has taken place without them?
Yes. We haven't done that, but they absolutely can. Give us the keys to their house, have us pack up their old house, and they can just arrive when it's all done. This example here is of a home that we did do something like that. They gave us the keys that morning, didn't want to be around, and didn't arrive back home until 6 o'clock that evening. But this is a picture at 8 o'clock in the morning. We lay the rugs down first, and then the movers come in with all of their things. It's a mess, and it's lots going on, lots of commotion. But by 6 o'clock that day, the place looks beautiful. They're ready to move into it. Boxes are gone, paper is gone, we're gone, and they just open up the door. And this particular couple was just amazed that they didn't have to do a thing. They could sit down, get their glass of wine, and relax for the evening. So that's how it can go.
Incredible.
Stress-free, yeah.
Now, what about interstate moves? If somebody's coming from Florida or, actually anywhere in the country, and they're coming to Andover, do they call you? Do you call people? Do you have references in other states? How does that work?
Well, sure. I think, in the beginning of the show when we talked about NASM, the National Association of Senior Move Managers, we can get onto a listserv, and we've actually met some at the annual conference. We've met our colleagues from across the states, and we're all able to assist each other. So if someone is being packed up in Florida, we can make arrangements to receive them on this end, and vice versa.
We often do that just working as a team, so the move manager down in Florida, Texas, California, wherever, packs somebody up. We're in constant communication, we know when that's coming, and we're here on the other end to unpack and resettle them. So it's a really nice collaboration and a nice network to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, there must be so many of our viewers out there who could benefit from such a team approach.
The National Association website is a great resource and a great starting point for someone who wants to learn more about our services and who wants to find out, you know, a move manager in their area.
And certainly if someone watching today who had some questions with regards to, you know, should I be starting, or I know I'm heading towards a move, we'd be happy to sit down and talk with them and just really listen to what their needs are. And then from that point, you know, should they decide to hire us, it's a matter of just putting together a plan that we're both comfortable with.
So how do you market your services, and how can our viewing audience find you if they need help?
Yeah, you know, our services are very personal, and we approach our marketing the same way. So a lot of our marketing is that personal one-on-one meeting with people who might find us valuable in their own business to help their own clients. So we get referrals from, you know, Ellen said earlier, we get referrals from senior communities, elder law attorneys, estates and trust attorneys, realtors, social workers, geriatric care managers. So we get referrals from a lot of but we meet them one-on-one. We also do presentations on our services, downsizing, right-sizing your life, moving. And those presentations are anywhere from the Rotary Club, senior centers, to the communities themselves. So,
very helpful. Mm-hmm. I can't thank you ladies enough for being with us, and the services seem incredibly important, especially for people who, you know, can't physically manage the pre-moving logistics and physical labor that's involved.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
You're welcome.
with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
And now we're fortunate to have our own Eszter Vajda talk to us today about another kind of boomer transition. Welcome, Eszter.
Thanks, Leslie. Now I want to talk to you about a different type of transition, a sort of reverse transition. Instead of boomers moving, there's now a historic trend of children moving back in with parents as adults. This group is sometimes referred to as the boomerang generation because of the likelihood of those ages 25 to 34 of moving out of the family home and then boomerang right back. I happen to be one of them. Although a bit older than 34, I recently moved back in with my mother. And let me tell you, it's been quite an adjustment for both of us, but in mostly good ways. In fact, it turns out that according to a recent Pew Research survey and analysis of the Census Bureau data, Americans living in multi-generational family households is the highest since the 1950s, with significant increases in the past 5 years. And the survey indicates that few children are complaining. Consider this, only 54% of 18 to 24-year-olds are currently employed. This is the worst unemployment rate since 1948, when the government began keeping track of job numbers. Add to that, among the 18 to 34-year-olds surveyed, 63% say they know someone who had to move back home because of the economy. Okay, so the weak economy has prompted many to move back in with their parents. But it's not just a free ride for them. The survey also shows that the sharing of the family finances benefits young adults as well as their parents. 48% of boomerang children report that they have paid rent to their parents, and 89% say they have helped with household expenses. As for the effect on family dynamics, about a quarter say that living arrangements has been bad for their relationship with their parents, while nearly the same 24% say it's been good, and nearly half, or 48%, say it hasn't made a difference. Not bad, considering moving back home with parents in the past often triggered shame for some children and even anguish because of past rocky family relationships. So talk about transition. Not only are many baby boomers having to take care of their aging parents, but many are also finding themselves sandwiched in between a senior parent and a child that is suddenly moving back in after years of being away. For those 25% that are not happy in their current situation, the good news is that by most accounts, the economy is improving. So for the unemployed, hopefully, a job and a new living situation could soon be on the horizon. But for the rest of us, we could view this as an opportunity. For instance, I like my roommate. In fact, while she will always be my mother, she has become a good friend and a close companion. While I was living away, we texted, emailed, Skyped, and talked on the phone regularly. But it's not the same. As much as I dislike to say this, I am grateful to get this unexpected opportunity to rediscover my mother as an adult. Now I want to know what you think. Email me at esternvajda@gmail.com. Leslie, back to you.
Thanks for being with us on Boomer Being. See you next time.